You are now watching the Ball and Beats podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode here at the Ball and Beats podcast. We have been gone here for the last few weeks, but we are back. I am Logan, and I'm only joined today with Alan via Zoom as well. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Two-man show right here, and we're going to make it work.
Two-man show. We haven't had a two-man show in quite a long time. First time on video, but we're going to make it work, and we're going to do it well. We have a lot to discuss here today. I think we need to start off here in our entertainment segment. Let's start off here with entertainment. So, coming up this next week here, we have arguably, more than likely, Video Game of the Year dropping in EA College Football 25. All of us here, the sports fans that we are, this has been a moment we've been waiting for 10 years. This has been it's been 10, 11 years in the making, and we are just a few days away from this happening. Alan, how excited are you about this? Because I know I am so looking forward to when this game drops.
I'm so excited for this, and if you're not excited, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Like you said, 10, 11 years since the last one. We've been waiting for it, and now it's finally coming out, and I'm ready to play.
I'm ready to play too. I have to thank NIL for this, by the way. Without NIL, this honestly wouldn't be possible. So regardless of what you say about name, image, and likeness and the amount of money these athletes are getting, without it, we wouldn't be getting this game right now. So we have to shout out name, image, and likeness and the rules that are now in college athletics. But the real question I have for you, Alan, is what modes are you looking forward to the most? Because I know what I'm looking forward to the most. It's obviously Dynasty and Road to Glory. So I got to know, what modes are you looking forward to?
I got to get back to Road to Glory. I got to get my quarterback back.
Yeah.
Funny saying that twice, but my quarterback, I got to start him off. I think I might go to Boise State, build the program there. But honestly, Dynasty mode. I got to rebuild Washington State. I got to get them to the pinnacle.
You and the Cougs, man. You and the Cougs. Old Crimson. The flag that's always at college game day. That seems to be your team for some reason. It's like your hidden gem team. You're a Wolverine fan at heart, but really you're a Washington State Cougar fan. Let's be honest. We all know it. Anyone else who's really been watching and listening, we all know you're really a Washington State fan. That's actually your favorite team. Don't lie.
Hey, that Apple Cup is actually some of the most exciting you'll get. Just saying.
Sure it is. I doubt you very highly on that.
Hey, better than some Iowa football.
Hey, I say the toughest job for any coach, anyone out there for Dynasty mode, would be to be the offensive coordinator for the Iowa Hawkeyes. There's no way that anyone should be able to have that job more than a year, because that offense is going to be able to do nothing. But for me, for Dynasty, I got to say, I've already gone public. I went public on Twitter here a couple days ago, and I officially announced my decision. I will be the head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd. I know. Applaud.
Yes, sir.
Applaud.
Yes, sir.
I was officially hired. It's going to be a nice paid contract here. But Marshall fans, I must admit, they were loud and proud when I announced that on Twitter. I had a lot of reactions from those Marshall fans down there in Huntington, West Virginia. Regardless, the nostalgia of this game, I feel like anyone who's a true college football fan, anyone who knows me knows that is truly like my passion is college football. And for having this video game back and the nostalgia it brings, it's almost emotional in some ways, I must admit. It's weird.
I gotta say, those kids aren't ready. Kids online, we've been waiting for this. They don't know what's up.
They don't know what's about to hit them, dude. They have no idea. I gotta go back to Road to Glory, though. In some ways, I'm disappointed how the mode is, because you don't have high school. You pick, anywhere from a 2-star to a 5-star. You can choose. As a 5-star, you'll play right away. As a 2 or 3-star athlete, you have to kind of work your way up. I mean, that's really how it already was anyway with Road to Glory most of the time anyway, even if you were a 5-star. I missed that you can't really play the high school games, but in some ways, it's also pretty good because then you're just in college right away. But I miss the fact that you can't like create your own high school and play with your own high school team. I feel like that is something that's missing from this game. But the attention to detail they did for all schools in this video game, second to none. They really wanted to make this game right. None of us have really had the chance to play it yet, but I feel like they got it right.
Yeah, and I just gotta say, I'm definitely excited just for the traditions,
Right.
just to see it all come together.
To see it all come together, it's gonna hit when you finally get that loading screen. When you finally get that loading screen up, and we can finally play that game. No one talk to me, please, for the next week. I don't want to hear it from anybody.
And dude,
Ignore me.
I can't wait to hit that transfer portal. That transfer portal is going to be my saving grace in Dynasty.
The transfer portal, the way you can recruit players, NIL is kind of in the video game. I forget the exact wording they're using for it, but you can sort of pay to play for these players a little bit. So
yeah.
In some ways, they're bringing what's modern to the game of college football in this video game, ways that you really couldn't do before because it wasn't necessarily legal at the time in real life. But the attention to detail they've done on this video game is definitely second to none. I am not a gamer. Anyone who knows me, I don't game like that. But I'm going to be on this game, and I'm going to be on it a lot. I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm so looking forward to making the Mid-American Conference the next Power 5 conference. Bring it back to Power 5. The Mid-American Conference will be up there. 100%. Shout out Alex. He's not here, but I have to do it for you.
And honestly, I hope that this opens the door for a college basketball game. I really do. Because honestly, I would love to do a dynasty as a college basketball team going to March Madness. I think that would be awesome.
Now, that's a game we haven't had in even longer than NCAA. It was NCAA 14 was the last one with Denard Robinson on the cover. I can't even really tell you the last time we had a basketball game. I believe it was what?
I think it was 2010.
2010? 2009 time frame, I believe, was the last one we had of that. I feel like with college basketball, I feel like it's a little bit tougher because of the one and done, and a lot of these athletes, they're not always like, you can leave as a freshman. And really right now, in the way college basketball is working, and we saw it with the NBA draft, a lot of the best overall prospects right now are really not from America. You're talking about your top 3 prospects, top 5 prospects. A lot of them are either from France or some other foreign country right now. So I feel like for college basketball, I think we need to really rebuild just the overall landscape of college basketball because you don't have a lot of top-tier talent that stay after 1 year, I would say. And I think you need to get back to that for college basketball to have a legit video game because you're licensing. You're only really guaranteed 1 year with the best players.
Yeah, you're right.
In that way. So I feel like regardless, having a game like maybe like even creating a March Madness game on its own could be neat.
Yeah.
I don't really know where to attack it for college basketball, but for college football in particular, you have the highest quality players on the field at least 2 or 3 years before. Obviously this year it's different since it's the first year back, but there's just something about this video game. I have a feeling it's going to win Game of the Year when it's all said and done. This is a monumental day for us sports fans and specifically us college football purists, college football fans. I think the favorite mode that I have in this game is the fact that in your dynasty, you can like custom the conferences. You can make realignment go back to what it really was and has been. If you're a college football purist, you hate seeing what is happening right now where you have the Big Ten taking all the teams from the West Coast. You have Oklahoma and Texas joining the Bigs in the SEC. There's rumors out there right now that we could dive into at a later date, talking about Florida State and Clemson, maybe to the Big 12, which is a possibility for media rights deals. So at the end of the day, making it pure, how college football should be. That's the best. Give me Dynasty. I'm going to enjoy Dynasty so much.
I gotta enjoy Dynasty. It's really the right choice. I mean, Road to Glory is gonna be fun, but come on now. A chance to build your own dynasty? I mean, I can get Michigan because you know I'm gonna choose Michigan also.
Stop
But
it. Stop it. Of course,
hey,
you can't be.
hey,
You can't.
Connor Staley's ain't on my team. Okay,
I'm saying
I
this,
got
though.
this.
I'm saying this, though. You can't publicly tell people you're choosing a Power 5 school or Power 4 school. Can't happen. Can't happen. You can't let people know that. You have to rebuild those small teams. That's the only right way. If Sam Houston
I
State
am
doesn't
rebuilding those small
if
teams.
Sam Houston State doesn't win multiple national championships this year in this whole year of the video game being out, you're mistaken, my friend. I just want you to know.
Hey, hey, Washington State, we're gonna win it. We're gonna win it at least 2 years in. Might not be the first year, but 2 years, we're coming for that
Buddy,
title.
it's all right. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's okay. Another mode that seems interesting. I'm not an Ultimate Team person for like Madden or even college football, but they have that. And you can play as players that weren't necessarily in the video game prior throughout the years, like Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, all the other players as well throughout that decade of no NCAA football, which I will say that's the right thing to do specifically for those athletes as well, to give them that chance to be in the video game. I like that touch. I'm not an Ultimate Team person, and I'm probably not going to play that mode often, but I do like the fact that they're giving the nod to the former athletes that didn't get a chance to be on the game. What do you think about that, Alan?
I mean, I like it. I mean, again, it's like you said. I mean, they haven't been in the game. What? Yeah, like I said, the past 10 years. So it's only right that they get to be in there because you're talking about some of the best that college football has ever seen. I mean, C.J. Stroud, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I mean, these are really good talents that weren't even able to be in this game. So the fact that you can go back for Ultimate Team is really a good thing. But like you said, I'm not an Ultimate Team person either. I don't know if I'll really play it that much, but it's well received, and I'm happy for them.
All right. We got to move on to another topic here in the entertainment world. And I don't care that it is a week old because it is still taking everybody by storm, specifically the state of California. Kendrick Lamar, you just don't stop, do you? You just keep rubbing it in Aubrey Graham's face that you absolutely destroyed him in the rap beef. Shout out Christian and David. I hope you're watching this segment right now. Your buddy got absolutely trampled on, smoked, whatever you want to say. It is over, and it has been over. We know it's been over. We've already talked about that, but he just keeps digging at him and keeps digging at him with the Not Like Us music video. There is so much in that music video that you could dive into each single shot and say there's some kind of meaning behind it because that's how Kendrick Lamar is. You can sit here and you can look at DJ Mustard being in the music video with a Toronto Blue Jays hat as a slight dig. You can go to, let's see, the push-ups he did in the jail cell. Like, Drake told him to do push-ups, and if you actually count the push-ups, it's a little shaky, with numbers. I'm not going to dive into that. If you know, you know what I'm meaning by that. And just the whole crowd that he had for that music video, everyone on the West Coast loves it. He brought out Tommy the Clown. If you know Tommy the Clown, that's a history of clowning, which kind of indirectly created the crumping dancing style. That's such a West Coast thing, and the West Coast is buzzing like it hasn't really since East Coast, West Coast. Regardless of whatever else transpires out of this, Kendrick probably made Song of the Decade, let's be honest here.
Dude, they're gonna be playing this song forever. I mean, it was good when it first came out, but then you see the video, and it's just like, how can you not keep playing it? The playability of it, you can play this forever, really. I mean, just the beat, the music, the lyrics. I mean, everyone knows the lyrics by now, and if you don't, you're missing out. But Drake, I don't know how Drake, he really can't respond anymore.
No, he can't. What's your favorite moment in the music video? Let's go there, because I know what mine is. But I want to hear yours first.
I have two.
Okay.
Actually. So, my number one favorite spot is when his family is crip walking and his fiance is wearing the wife beater.
Oh,
Bro,
oh,
that is the funniest part of that
Drake,
video.
Drake, what were you
And
doing bringing family into it,
that
man?
family matters. And then my second favorite part was when they had all the members of TDE right there in the music video because he was trying to talk about how TDE doesn't even like him,
Yeah,
and they still all cool. And
yeah,
I'm like, bruh,
yeah, and he's not even a part of TDE
like,
anymore, and yet he still is cool with them and like that. You saw J Rock and all those guys there. It
yeah,
has
Schoolboy was in there. Yeah, all of
Schoolboy
them.
Q, yeah, all of them were there. I think you got so much symbolism. Him with the owl pinata,
Oh yeah,
destroying the owl. Really, at the end of the music video, the caged owl, he's staring him down like he's locked up. But yes, the family part. That's what sealed the deal. That's officially what put the bow on this present to Drake. That's what happened here. When you bring up family and you say someone is an abuser of their wife or children, and the little touch is Dave Free being the producer of the music video as well. Let's not forget what Drake said about Dave Free being involved in his relationship. And she is crip walking on Drake's head top. Like, and he is dancing with
and
the
so are
kids.
the
He's trying to
kids.
show the kids how to do it. Like, Drake. You've done well in your career, buddy. You've done so well. Just no longer try and do beef, okay? You can beat guys like Meek Mill. You can beat those kind of rappers. Obviously, Diddy did the same thing. That's a joke. Don't take that. Don't take that. Anyway,
If you know, you know.
Drake, no more beef rap, please. No more. No more. No more. You're done. You're done with that. Respectfully.
If he try, I okay. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to see him try and go after Eminem next, just
No.
to see Eminem
No.
destroy Drake.
No. We don't want to see it. We already saw what happened after after Kendrick. You saw Wagwan Delilah? Like, come on, buddy. Like, that's your response back is hopping on a meme song? Get out of here. Get out of here, Drake. You had a long run. Kendrick destroyed you. Simple as that.
J. Cole was the smartest.
J.
I'm
Cole's
glad he got out of
J.
that.
Cole is the real winner of this rap beef because he knew what was coming to Drake. Drake, you should never enter the state of California again in your life. They will make fun of you. Everyone in America now is just making fun of you. You should just stay in your palace in Toronto. That's where I think you need to be. Good luck to you, Drake, really, because
You can't come back.
Kendrick just absolutely torched you, respectfully. It's all due respect, Drake, but it's over. It's over. It's over. Don't even try to any rebuttal. You haven't seen a rebuttal since Not Like Us, really. Actually, you did see it, and he was just saying, oh, it was a whole plot. It was the plan. That's how you know you lose. That's how you know you lost when you say stuff like that. You know?
I know,
Like,
bro.
that's a
Bro was
horrible...
like, yeah, that was all part of my plan.
That was all a part of my plan is to, force feed you information to say about me. Like, get out of here. No, you didn't. No. Drake,
Dude, that's so bad.
Kendrick Lamar, what a song. What a moment, really, for rap. That kind of needed something like that. I feel like, you sit here, you see the XXL freshman list for this year. Not that
Dude,
great.
I haven't been. I've seen like two people, and I'm like, dude, this is.
For what they have, it's not bad, but it's still not great. That
It hasn't been good since 2016.
hasn't really 2017 I feel like was a fairly decent year too, but I feel like their respect for like the freshman list it's over. It's over. XXL used to mean something really in the rap scene when it came to their freshman cipher. It's really not much anymore. I feel like people just kind of push that to the side. It's like whatever. They don't choose the best anyway of that class, or the best just doesn't want to be there because it don't mean much to them anymore. But in this moment of hip hop and rap, Kendrick Lamar, you took it over. Congrats.
And that preview, and he previewed a new song at the beginning of the music video.
The snippet. Kendrick Lamar, easily, there's nothing that can happen the rest of this year in the rap scene. There's nothing, maybe even in the next 2 or 3 years, that could top what's happened. Maybe even next decade. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. I don't think there's anything here in the next decade.
I don't see anyone entering a beef like this for a while. It's been a while since we've seen a beef like this, and I don't know if we'll even see it again.
We'll see him again. It comes in stages. It does. That's part of rap. It will happen again. I don't know if it'll happen at this top tier level, but I do think we will see more. I mean, you've seen it at the lower ends, not to put disrespect on any other artist, but you had Young and Ace recently with you know that history. We don't need to talk about Jacksonville and that rap scene because that's very dark and it's very it's got a lot of history with that, like serious beef and actual like death of people. But for raps, nothing in the next decade I think will top what Kendrick did to Drake. 100%. There's nothing out there that'll top it. It's over. It's over, Drake. You're done. I think that's a good spot to wrap up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, you're right. Just stay in Canada.
Stay in Canada. Enjoy your maple syrup and whatever else you guys have up there. Oh, Canadian bacon. Canadian bacon's just ham. Leave that in Canada. We don't need that. That's going to wrap up this segment here of the Ball and Beats podcast. We'll come back. We're going to talk a little bit about the Olympics, because that's coming around the corner here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back here. And welcome back here to episode 108 of the Ball and Beats podcast, as it is a two-man show today, as it is me and Alan joining me via Zoom. As we are here now to move on to the next segment, as we have the Summer Olympics coming up here around the corner. We don't really talk Olympics on the podcast, probably because we haven't really had an Olympics since we started really recording the Ball and Beats podcast. However, I feel like since it's around the corner, we need to touch up on it because you have a lot when it comes to swimming, when it comes to basketball, when it comes to all the other sports, track and field as well. Alan, which event specifically, I should say, is probably the one you're looking forward to the most?
I am looking forward to definitely men's and women's street and park skateboarding. It was introduced in 2020 at the Tokyo Olympics. This is the second time that it'll be done at the event. And if you know me, I love my skateboarding, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Any specific skateboarders?
Yeah, so I'm looking at Nigel Houston. He wasn't able to win gold the first time around, so hopefully he can do that in street. And Jagger Ian, he won a silver in park, so I'm hoping he can improve the gold.
I'm not even going to act like I sit here and watch skateboarding like that, although I do know the name Nigel Houston. I have seen him, so I do know him. For me, I think when it comes to the U.S., I feel like you have to sit here and you want to watch the swimming, of course. Specifically, I think women's swimming. I think Katie Ledecky, I think she's going to show out again like she normally does. Gymnastics as well.
I've seen that Australia has some really good swimmers. They've been saying that they're going to
beat. They said that they would beat the U.S. They would guarantee that they beat the U.S. this year. So it'll be intriguing to see a little bit of maybe a rivalry right there between the Aussies and the U.S. for swimming as well. But I'm also looking forward to gymnastics, of course. Simone Biles, see if she can bring back some more gold medals as well here for the U.S. I did want to kind of talk about this, though, because the last time at the Olympics, the U.S. men's basketball team kind of let down the country. Let's talk about that, right?
Dude.
They
Oh
let
my gosh.
they let down America very, very badly. But to be fair, you're not sending the best players over like that time. That didn't happen. This time's a whole different ballgame with that roster lineup. Although I must admit, the least surprising thing I seen was yesterday or 2 days ago that Kawhi Leonard is dropping out so he could rest up before the actual NBA season. And I've heard Derek White's probably going to be the one to replace him on the roster.
I've been seeing. I think it is Derek White.
It sounds like it's going to
be.
be
And yeah,
Derek
honestly,
White.
It's Kawhi Leonard.
I think he just wanted to be there for the photo shoot. Let's be for real. That's how Kawhi Leonard is. He's like, I want to be there for the photo shoot. I want to win rings somehow, but like not want to play. You know, I think that's his favorite thing is not playing the sport of basketball. Jokic.
He kind of just shows up.
We sit here and make the jokes about Jokic being mad that he has to play basketball. At least he goes out there and plays it. You know, I think we need to start talking about Kawhi Leonard in a different light. Yes, he's a great basketball player, but your best ability is availability in sports. And when you choose to not play, a lot of the times, it's not even like injury. I get that, sometimes you need a rest or whatever, but Kawhi Leonard, like, you just need to play. People might respect you a little bit more, and that's okay. But
exactly.
Look at this roster, though. Look at this lineup. You have Kevin Durant. You have LeBron James. You have Steph Curry for his first ever Olympics. You have Jason Tatum. No. Yep. You have Joel Embiid.
Yeah, Jason Tatum.
You have Joel Embiid. You have Devin Booker. There's others as well I haven't even mentioned. I can't think of the rest off the top of my head. Anthony Edwards, young star. There is no reason at all on paper why they should end up with anything but the gold medal. I do know this, though.
Honestly, if they fail to win a gold, just stop playing basketball.
Yeah.
Don't even go to the 2028 Olympics.
Hey,
because it's like we're assembling the Avengers to get one basketball gold medal, and if we can't even do that.
On paper, yes. They did just scrimmage Canada recently as well. I think it was yesterday.
See, in Canada, they may have lost, but Canada kind of impressed me with the highlights that I saw.
Yes.
And I don't think that they were not playing 100%, because if Canada was going 100%, I think that they actually would have, if not won, they would have came really close.
I think that's the only team on paper who I think can beat the U.S. Because look at that roster. You have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You have Jamal Murray. You have, I'm trying to remember who else. I'm blanking right now.
Oh, Dylan Brooks.
You had, I can't remember. The whole starting five was like all NBA guys. I know Kelly Olynyk is there. You had other pieces.
They have like 9 NBA
Yes.
They have like 9 NBA players.
Yeah, Canada's riddled with NBA players on that lineup. That's the only team that truly does scare me. I mean, of course, you have other countries. You have Greece with Giannis. Luka got knocked out in Slovenia.
This is Greece's first time in the Olympics, so I'm not too worried about Greece.
I'm not worried, but they still have some of the best. They have arguably top 5 player in the NBA, so or a top 3 when he's healthy and actually playing. So
yeah,
you don't have Slovenia and Luka Doncic because Giannis in Greece beat them in the qualifying games. So there's a lot of talent across a lot of these countries now, and really the sport of basketball.
That Spain team, is gonna go crazy because that Barcelona team from Spain. Oh my gosh.
Yes, Spain, they develop really well. They've always had great players in history in the NBA. You look at the Gasol brothers, you look at Ricky Rubio, you look at other players they've had over history. Spain is an underrated basketball country. I feel like really with their development of their players over there. But in general, basketball is a lot more international than it ever has been. So even with this roster that America does have, they need to watch out. They need to watch out because some of the best players now in the modern NBA are from overseas. And When you go to the Olympics, rules are different. The 3-point line is closer, which that could also be a benefit to the American players. But FIBA rules are a lot different, and they're going to call actual fouls. They're going to call actual fouls.
No more flopping.
Not a lot of flopping, not a lot of soft. No. It's different. It's different when you play FIBA rules, not NBA. So I still trust us, but they got to be careful. There's no reason why America shouldn't win the gold medal for the men's basketball. There's no reason. With that lineup, it's probably the best lineup they've had since, I would say, maybe that 2008 team in Beijing. That team in Beijing was and before then, you're talking the dream team. So I think this is probably the second.
2012 was okay, but
2012 was okay. 2008 lineup, that was nasty.
2016 was bad.
16 bad, still obviously won, and then this past time around, nobody went. Nobody went. At least none of the top 5 or 10 players went. You had
2020. That was that roster was okay at best.
Yeah, no, it was not a pretty roster, and I shouldn't say it's not it's a good quality roster, but it's not your best of the best. But now we have the best of the best going over, and so there's no reason why the gold medal shouldn't be around their necks at the end of the Olympics. So regardless, you got to win it for America. You got to do it, men's basketball. After the disappointment of last Olympics, go win it in Paris, please. Because I don't want to be sitting here in a few weeks talking about how Latvia or some country like that somehow beat America, somehow beat LeBron James, somehow beat Kevin Durant, somehow beat Anthony Edwards, somehow beat Steph Curry. I don't want that. I don't want to sit here and
don't forget, and beat current NBA champion Jason Tatum.
We don't talk about the Boston Celtics here. You got to remember that. So, City of Boston. You think I'm forgetting what I've created? Nah. City of Boston, we don't talk about you anymore. You don't deserve praise. You don't deserve anything good ever again. And that's okay. That's going to wrap up our Olympics talk here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about NBA free agency. Don't go anywhere. Be back here at the Ball and Beats podcast. And welcome back here to episode 108 of the Ball and Beats podcast, as we are back here with the two-man show that is Logan and Alan via Zoom, as we are going to talk a little bit about NBA free agency. Now, I feel like as a Miami Heat fan, I'm just constantly disappointed because any player we are ever mentioned with, it just don't happen no more. Pat Riley, what happened to being so aggressive? What happened to being the aggressive general manager that you were? What? Please tell me, Pat Riley.
You wish you had Sam Presti, because I love Sam Presti.
Hey, I mean, the Thunder got a lot better, I think, with Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. I like the moves that the Thunder have made, I must admit. But as a Heat fan, sitting here like a sitting duck, that's all they're doing. Jimmy Butler's not getting any younger, Miami. And, we can sit here and talk about Heat culture this, Heat culture that, all of that. Got to add some pieces. Look at the East.
I was going to say, you got to do something.
The East is getting nothing but better.
Buddy Hield just went to the Warriors.
Hey, now, we couldn't get DeMar DeRozan? Didn't even talk about him in the Not Like Us music video, former Toronto Raptor being there for Kendrick Lamar. But anyway, no DeMar DeRozan going to Sacramento. The players in the West, it's whatever. It's so irritating. I thought we were going to get DeMar DeRozan. I really did for some reason. I don't know why. Miami just needs to do something. They got to stop being stagnant. They got to stop being stagnant. There's no way with this roster it's actually going to work anymore. You need to upgrade. You need to get upgrades. Paul George to the Philadelphia 76ers. That threw me off. I really thought that they would have took care of Paul George out there for the Clippers. Instead, they went with James Harden, and I'm okay with that too. James Harden's actually, I think, really fit well actually in the Clippers system. But Paul George to Philadelphia. What do we think the 76ers are going to look like, Alan, now with Paul George, with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey?
I actually like it. My thing is, if those three can stay healthy consistently, I think it's going to be a dangerous team. I mean, Maxey was starting to come into his zone. We know Embiid's good when healthy. And if Paul George doesn't load manage and stays healthy, this team next year, they really could do some damage in the East.
On paper, I would have to say they would be just behind Boston at that rate. On paper, they would have to probably be the second best team in the East. You know, and then maybe Milwaukee, if they're healthy, maybe third behind them.
The Knicks.
The Knicks at
The
fourth.
Knicks, if they're healthy.
Honestly, right now, when I sit here and look at the East, I think Miami on paper is like the 7th or 8th best team. So I think that's what's really hurting my Miami Heat is the fact that the East just keeps getting better. The East just keeps adding talent where they're just kind of staying put with what they have right now. And they got to make moves. Miami's usually the team that makes a move every 5 years or so. You see it. It needs to happen sooner rather than later. But Paul George to Philadelphia. To me, it's another Philadelphia, like, it's so tough because I feel like I could see this working out so well, but yet I could see this failing miserably because he's what Philadelphia needs. Philadelphia needed a guy like Paul George. The problem is, talking about the health factor, really the whole East this past season, with the exception of Boston, was unhealthy in the playoffs. You know, and that you're getting a guy who's been fairly injury-prone the last couple years, alongside another player who's been historically injury-prone in Joel Embiid, and it could be set up for, I think, disaster in some ways. I'm not saying it will, because the talent is there, and Philadelphia now, on paper, is truly a championship caliber team. But this could be a huge miss on Philadelphia's part as well, because Paul George, he's not getting any younger. Joel Embiid is starting to get up there in age as well. You know, trust the process, that's been over since 2020. Let's be honest here, that trust the process was such a long time ago. But now something's got to give. They got to get past the Eastern Conference semis. They haven't really. You know, so to me, the Sixers going in, at least in the Eastern Conference, they're the biggest. They have the most on their plate, I think. I think they have the most pressure going into next season out of the Eastern Conference. No doubt behind it. Boston finally got over that hump, finally getting that championship here with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And they just gave the bag to Jason Tatum as well. So we've talked about that Boston's going to have, you know, two athletes getting paid $600 million. Well, we're here now. So let's see what happens to the rest of that roster in Boston over the next couple seasons. But then this move as well. You got Klay Thompson and the Splash Brothers finally, after a massive dynasty run, finally breaking up here as Klay Thompson is going on a 3-year, $50 million deal to the Dallas Mavericks. And Alan,
I called it.
You did call it.
Dude, I will say, me and my sister, we talked about it when he was talking to the Lakers and talking to the Mavericks. I said, honestly, I think for him, going to the Mavericks would probably be better. And I think that's because the Mavericks themselves, they are a good team. And I felt like they were missing a key piece. And I know Klay Thompson didn't have the best season, but he's trying to get to another championship. And I think the Mavericks are a better fit for that than going to the Lakers.
Yeah.
And me and my sister, we talked about that a lot. You know, the Lakers are kind of in a circus right now, and you want to go somewhere where you know you can have the ability to win, and going to the Lakers isn't it.
We'll get a little bit more into that circus here after this topic here, but for Klay Thompson, I think he's exactly what Dallas needed. They needed another offensive piece who is not a on-ball talent. He's off-ball. You know, he's catch and shoot. And I think as well, he does have a little bit better defense as well. He brings a little bit of the defensive side of the ball to Dallas that they've lacked. And I think in some ways I wish they had one more defensive piece. That's a true defensive piece that could really make this a championship roster. It already is a championship roster. As we saw, they made it to the NBA Finals this past year. But I think that Klay Thompson is exactly what they needed. You got your off-ball catch-and-shoot player with a little bit of defensive help for Luka, because Luka, we know that defensive effort is not there, and I don't think that's going to change, to be honest. I don't think that's going to change in his career. I think he is what he is. I think we're at that point. Don't expect it to get any better anytime soon. But Dallas got a lot better getting Klay Thompson. Yeah, he was coming off the bench here for Golden State this past season for a little bit. But regardless, you're still talking about a Hall of Famer with 4 NBA championships. The best shooting duo of all time with him and Steph Curry. And he adds just another offensive piece to this already stacked Mavericks roster on the offensive side of the ball with still a little bit of much higher quality defensive skill. So I think Klay Thompson to the Mavs, it fits perfectly. But let's get on this last topic here of the day.
Oh my
Let's get
gosh.
to the circus show that is the Los Angeles Lakers. Alan, we talked about it for a while. We all knew it was going to happen, regardless of it being drafted or not. Bronny James is a LA Laker. We all knew it was. We're talking a couple weeks later on, but everybody knew it was happening. It was so obvious out there, and to me, the Los Angeles Lakers, it's not about winning anymore. If it was really about winning, they would have got Klay Thompson. If it was really about winning, they would have got Paul George. If it was really about winning,
they wouldn't have drafted Bronny. They would have drafted someone else.
Or even this, they would have got Buddy Hield.
Let's be real.
They would have got Buddy Hield. They would have got some other star and then drafted, It's no shade to Bronny, by the way, guys. This is no shade to Bronny James.
Not at all.
No shade to Bronny, but he was not a draft pick. Genuinely, like in this class, he was really not going to get drafted. I don't think anyone before the Lakers at 55 would have actually picked him to begin with, but Rich Paul did his job to make sure it happened anyway, and LeBron James made sure it happened anyway. And regardless, I want to see Bronny succeed, but to me, it's for show. What the Lakers are doing is for show. It is not about actually winning. It is about getting tickets sold and people in seats. It is nothing more.
Come on. Redick has your head coach. Come on now. Really?
I'll say this, though. I'll say this about JJ Redick. People can say whatever you want about JJ Redick. He's a smart basketball mind. I do think
But that doesn't always translate.
It doesn't always translate.
And that's the biggest That's the biggest thing.
I do think he can be a good NBA head coach. I don't know if the Lakers should have been his first job, though, with LeBron James. I do think he'll be judged. That's what I'm saying.
A 2-year deal.
Yeah.
It's a 2-year deal, but come on now. Let's be real here. They're not winning in his first year. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs in the first year under him. And I want to see him succeed. I really do, because I really like him as a basketball player. But I just think the Lakers, if they really wanted to not make it look like a circus, because this is LeBron's friend and podcast partner. Let's be real here.
Well, not podcast partners no more. No more podcasts.
I'm just saying.
JJ Redick.
But they should. I know Gino wasn't gonna go because he was gonna stay at UConn. Let's be real. He wasn't leaving UConn.
You mean Dan Hurley?
But yeah, Dan Hurley. Sorry, I'm talking about women's basketball.
Talking about Gino Auriemma.
That's the Lakers for you. They make me talk about everything but the Lakers.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. But that's it's the Lakers are becoming a reality TV show. Respectfully, it's no shade to Bron. I actually feel for Bronny James in this moment. I think he's caught in the middle of LeBron trying to create storylines for the end of his career, his son playing with him. It's a beautiful moment too. I don't want to even overlook that. I think that's an amazing moment to have a son and father play together. I think it is. I just don't like the fact of how it's obvious that it was going to happen. And I don't like the fact that the Lakers didn't do really anything else to truly try and improve their roster as well. Because the Lakers, I think they need a lot, personally. I think they need to let either Anthony Davis or LeBron James be gone. One of those, it don't work.
Yes.
It don't work. They need another piece, or two, or three, or four. Really, they just need to stop overpaying bench players to be starters for
And
2
start
games
over.
and start over. The problem is the Lakers usually start over all the time. They didn't even bother to start over this time. Maybe it'll work now that they didn't. Maybe it'll work now that they didn't really, rebuild or nothing or start over off the bench with all their bench players. But
The biggest thing that I feel bad for Bronny
yeah,
is because he tried so hard, and he always talks about it too, which makes me feel bad, is that he doesn't want his career to be shrouded by his dad. But the only problem is that he got drafted to the same team as his dad, so that's the only storyline we're going to get. So I want him to succeed, I really do. But it's just, I feel bad because he wants to forge his own path, but it doesn't look like it because of where he's at right now on the Lakers.
it feels like his dad has created the path for him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And in some ways, you kind of sometimes want to do that, for your children, I feel like, in some ways. You want them to be successful as well as possible. But when you're sitting there saying, I'm not trying to be in my dad's shadow, and I really think Bronny, he deserves a legit chance. And I feel like regardless, he's not going to see a lot of the court this year. If he does, he'll be playing G League ball. He should be playing G League ball because he needs to develop. I think Bronny can be a legit solid piece on a roster down the road if he's developed properly. Yeah. I feel like
I agree.
People can sit here and hate on the G League or whatever, but sometimes it's necessary for development. You're talking about young kids coming into the league. You're talking about people who are sometimes 18, 19 years old, sometimes not even 18 years old coming into the NBA playing against grown men. So I think Bronny, he needs time. We've had this conversation before, but the fact that it did happen and the Lakers did nothing else really to improve their roster, it just goes to show what the Lakers are really about. They're not about winning. They're not about nothing else besides money, storylines. And maybe if Bronny makes a funny joke, if LeBron misses a game-winning shot, maybe we'll see LeBron give his son a belt whooping. Or cracking
or a nice little pep talk.
Let's be up a little pep talk. He won't be invited to Taco Tuesdays anymore, maybe. So that way he can put the work in, But
I wonder what his rookie punishment's gonna be.
Oh, that rookie punishment, I know, got to be maybe this might be actual true hazing at its finest. I think LeBron is gonna say go ruthless on him. Maybe that's what's needed. I don't know.
Also, my biggest problem is that the coverage. And look, I get it. I know this draft class. I know terrible. We barely know who the top 10 were, but the score yesterday posted on Instagram were Bronny's stat line. I'm like, dude, this stat line is not even good. 3 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, I think 3 blocks. That's nice and all because
three blocks is impressive for his height, to be honest with you, though. You're talking about a true point guard size.
But I'm just saying. But it's the summer league, and it looks like an average second round summer league stat line. I didn't see anything special. I just thought it was an average stat line.
Like we said, this draft class on paper was probably the worst one in a long time, maybe the worst one of all time. But yeah, no real coverage of your top 5 picks, Zachary Rasasher, no talk about, Nikola Topic, or no talk of, you know what, I don't even remember the rest of the names off the top of my head
exactly.
right now, but that's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point we're trying to make. Talk about the actual guys who were those top 5 picks and what they've done in Summer League. Everyone knows the storyline is going to be about Bronny. We all knew it. We knew this was coming. It's going to be pushed down our throat regardless. Excuse me. Sorry about that, Kevin. I'm going to hit the mic harder next time. But Bronny's going to be thrown down our throat as long as he's in the NBA. As long as he...
Hey, once LeBron retires, it won't matter.
It won't matter. And maybe at that point, Bronny is either A, no longer in the NBA, or 2, actually has turned out to be a quality player. I think Bronny's going to be around for a little bit simply because of his namesake. But I truly feel for Bronny because I feel like there's so much unnecessary pressure on him to be successful, but be successful right away. That's the day and age we are in, specifically in the age of social media. If you're not successful right away, it ain't going to work. Sometimes you got to take time with some things. Look at the Green Bay Packers and their quarterbacks. Not to bring up, the Green Bay Packers randomly, but they develop their quarterbacks for 3 or 4 years before they throw them out there on the field, and every time they turn out to play really well. Sometimes you just need to develop and be about development. Bronny, you just need time. You need time. I can't sit here and judge you off of 1 or 2 summer league games. I need to judge you off of I need to judge you off of 4 or 5 years.
I need to see you like preseason.
1, I need to judge you off like 2 G League seasons before you even get into the NBA.
Yeah.
And then once you get in the NBA, judge you off 3 or 4 NBA seasons before I can even make that call. So really, I feel like we're 6 or 7 years down the road for when we're really sitting here actually talking about Bronny, I think really being a high-quality piece. Regardless, the Lakers, I want to say some words right now and I can't, but it's a crap show, to say the least, I think.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles. But yeah, anything else, Alan, before we go?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to reiterate that I agree with you on the whole Bronny situation. I want to see him succeed, I really do. But it's just the cloud of his dad and him being on the Lakers. It's just bad, and I want him to succeed, but it's hard. And like you said, social media, this day and age, the pressure, it's unfair for him. It really is. But
it is unfair.
That's where we are at this point, and we'll just have to see how it plays out.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up episode 108 of the Ball and Beats podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that push notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos coming out. We'll be back here next week with you guys. Take care. We'll see you later.
Peace.